girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done.
All right, good morning, guys. Welcome back. Welcome. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Buenos dias, mindset. Bonjour. Yeah, Microsoft, man, that's one of the ones we were watching, right? That was sick. That little Microsoft downtrend we were talking about. Really nice break yesterday. Nice there. Morning, everyone. Welcome. I got it ready. Just got to fill it up, but it's going to be at the end of the stream today. End of the stream. Welcome back, everyone. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Welcome to the live stream. Happy Thursday. It's a little bit bright, but the bird's all right. I ain't going anywhere, Anthony. You know, this is actually an interesting watch here. Especially if the small caps start moving. Now I'm just sort of messing around while we wait, looking at some things. I'd be watching this ASTS again. I know it's been a little bit questionable over the last few weeks, but this level is still sort of doing something over here. So yeah, keep an eye on this thing. I don't know, we'll see. I think eventually this will lead to another opportunity, but you guys know I'm holding some shares of this name, just the share hold and letting it be. These are the types of stocks you really can't look at on a daily basis. You know, stuff like this, stuff like HIMS, you know, those sort of black horse, you know, black swan sort of plays that you just sort of hold. You know, there's going to be one of those days you wake up and you see, you know, ASTS up 20% or something. So I'm just waiting on that one. These are like those little boy plays. But yeah, that ASTS sort of interesting. How the hell did I sleep at, Chef? It's, you know what, man, and it's funny, and I'll talk about it. You know, this is you know, live or you know, coming from a person that's done it, right? It's not much different, man. You know, it's another just sort of milestone and a stepping stone, but do I feel entirely different today? No. I mean, just got to keep doing it because I think once you start to understand and have to respect the markets, you get excited for that trade, but then you realize how important it is to protect yourself because you can easily lose, right, that money. So, yeah, just got to stay locked in, man. Got to stay locked in. That's all. Can't lose focus. Can't lose focus. How do you get here? Stay focused. Big trade, but nothing changes. Appreciate you guys coming in. Thanks for the support, man. Thanks for all the comments yesterday. Thanks for all the support and the love. I do appreciate that. That was pretty awesome to see. Yeah, I mean, we knew it was coming, right, Renee? I mean, I always believed it was coming, but ASTS launch was good. Yeah, I mean, I hope that some of you guys were able to profit off that move as well, man. That's really what I hope more than anything. That makes me almost just as happy, to be honest. You know, when I see some other people longing that 5,400, when I see some other people longing those demands that we've talked about all week, 450 Qs, all week ES 5,400, all week NASDAQ 200 SMA 18,550, all week, man. We've been here every single morning for the last 4 days this week talking about those exact same levels. Nothing has changed. So I hope that, some of those levels we've been talking about here has been able to set up some trades for you, and it has been valuable for you. The juice is worth the squeeze, absolutely. When Lambo? No Lambo, man. My money's focused on building a house. I'm building a house, focusing on, saving a lot of cash. Maybe I can pay that house cash. Maybe I can at least put, 50% down on the house and pay that off quickly. And then if I could live in a paid off house that I can live in forever with, the size that I want and all that kind of stuff, then that's my goal, man. I don't really care about a Lambo. Porsche is good enough for me. Porsche that doesn't lose value, that's within my means. I don't need to be focusing on cars right now. I can focus on the Lambo after I got the dream house. Yeah, I'd like to build the house cash. I bought the lot cash, which is great because if you build the lot cash or you buy the lot cash, you can actually use the equity in the lot as a down payment, right? If you guys know builder loans, if I go ahead and take a builder loan out, they'll use the equity in the lot as a down payment. So I really don't even owe, honestly, I don't even owe a down payment if I do a builder loan because they'll take that cash that I bought the lot with. So. Yeah, that's my plan, man. That's where my focus is. What's the dream house look like? You'll see it one day. I got the plans working up. All right, guys. Welcome back. 8:07. Let's get started. What a day. What an awesome day yesterday. The S&P 500 levels worked again. Pretty nice stuff. We took it. We traded it. We believed in it. We stayed confident in the move, and it surely did pay off. So let's go ahead and review it today. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let's do it. I do actually, real quick, I'll just pull up what I still hold, just full transparency. I still do hold a very large S&P 500 position. So I still am very focused on managing that today. And I don't really, after the profits that I locked up yesterday, I'm not that focused on, panicking out of this position. It is a very in-the-money position on SPX, and I'm pretty comfortable in it, to be honest, at least with what I'm seeing in the market right now. We'll have to see, what we see today, of course. But here is the account, just full transparency, guys. Here is the position. This is my E-Trade. This is where I took that trade. And I still hold a pretty massive SPX position here. So right now, on top of the trade yesterday, up another 132 as of this morning. I am in a 5,500 call on SPX for Monday expiration. I have those at 30. They're currently trading at 82. So I still hold this, right? And I potentially will hold this through today if markets remain relatively higher, right? I am not scared to maintain this position. If yesterday was just the start of a bigger move, then I want to have some exposure to that. Now, of course, PPI is today. If we sort of get smacked off that, then guys, obviously I'm going to, this is going to say down, let's say $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 today. That's fine. That's something I have to be comfortable with if I'm going to maintain a position like this, right? If I'm going to push it and I'm going to go for it, then I need to be able to withstand this type of volatility and these numbers. So at the end of the day, it is all about this, guys, right? This right here is what it's all about. Percentages, not this. If I could continue to trade based off of percentages, then this number becomes arbitrary. This is an arbitrary number. This is, at the end of the day, a meaningless number. What matters in terms of my success long term is if I am taking positive percentage point trades and I'm focused on maintaining that type of performance percentage-wise. This is arbitrary. It's nice, but this is what wraps up people in trading. This is what causes people to be emotional. This side of your P&L is what is emotional. This side is business, right? This is business. This is emotion, okay? We got to stay focused on business. So for now, I'm going to maintain, and I will let you guys, I'll keep you updated on this. So just know that. Also, guys, update on this as well. I still hold those Nvidia Septembers in my E-Trade account as well. These are the expirations these are the trades that I plan to exercise. So I do plan to exercise these for shares. That is definitely a plan of mine. If Nvidia maintains itself, I will look to exercise these contracts, buy about 400 shares of Nvidia around that 100, 105 area. And that would be something I maintain in this portfolio as sort of just an investment. So just letting you guys know about that. Full transparency there. Let's get started. All right. So here we go. Yesterday, what did the NASDAQ do? NASDAQ. Well, actually, let's go real quick. Economic calendar. We should already know this, but I'll go over it real quick. Economic calendar. Today, PPI. You guys know that. PPI, 8:30. Bam. Right there. PPI. We know that. That's coming out in about 20 minutes. Unemployment claims as well. So definitely a little bit of risk, right, with the positions I currently hold. But after locking up those profits on the short-term expiration yesterday, it's all just gravy at this point. If I have to give back some profits, so be it. That's fine. I'm not going to be worried about that. That concern is what makes you not step up, right? My worriedness of giving back profits is what is going to stop me and limit my upside exposure, right? So that's fine. PPI, right there. Unemployment claims, that's today in about 20 minutes. Natural gas storage, 30-year bond auction, 10:30, 1 o'clock. And then, guys, tomorrow, no live stream, okay? On top of having a monster day yesterday, on top of having the biggest day I've ever had, I'm also going to be away in Austin, Texas. So I will not be here. I will not be on the live stream. Go check out Trade Brigade TB if you guys want to check that out. Make sure to go ahead and check him out. He's a great guy and a great morning live stream as well. You can check out his channel on when I'm not here. But when I'm here, you come here, all right? Let's make that very clear. All right, let's continue. So NASDAQ futures, right? What did we do? We did the same thing we've been talking about all week. We've been talking about this demand down here around 18.5, 18.550. That has been very clear. We've talked about this every single day. The 200 SMA keeping this market higher. And finally, you see the squeeze that comes in. The buyer stepping up here. the selling pressure slowing down, right? And the seller's not able to get this thing under that 200 SMA, and you finally get that squeeze back higher. Beautiful 200 SMA demand, beautiful 18,550. Now, today, this is the key spot right here, 19,140. You want a pullback to this level. You want it, okay? As much as I don't want it because I have open positions, I know that this is probably the proper move back to the downside, okay? It's probably proper that we see a 20 SMA rejection, some rejections up here at that 19.4, right? And then look for that pullback down to that 19.140, okay? If we get that pullback to 19.140, you need to see this hold. You need to see these previous highs and this previous low right here turn into a very strong demand level. If this holds, I would think that sets up a new upside move on this market for more upside. If you break back under this level, that is definitely where I would probably get rid of all my long exposure, guys. Just being fully open with you, this is likely the move that I would get out. I would not get out on anything above 19,140. If we get out, if we move under this and start to turn this back into a rejection point, that would concern me for downside, okay? That would concern me because we'd be failing back under this low, back under these highs, and that could start to get the sellers interested again for that move back lower. So for me, I think it's very proper to stay long as we're over 19,140 in the short term. A pullback to this level is what buyers want, right? This is really what the buyers want. They want that pullback to 19,140. They want to look for that re-entry long, look for that retest of these previous levels. That's what I would be looking for. 19,140. It could be down to 19,1. It's very possible there, Michael, or profits. You guys can see it could be down to these highs over here around 19,1. I would prefer 19,140 personally. I'll obviously watch it, right? If it goes to 19,135, guys, I'm not going to instantly sell, right? You still need to sort of monitor what's going on here. You can give yourself a little bit of a range, right? Maybe between 19,1 and 19,140, maybe about a 40-point range there on the NASDAQ, and just sort of monitor that zone. But if we really do start to see that selling pressure under this, then I think it's right to sort of ditch it in the short term, right? And then wait to see what happens, get some more information there. So if we don't even pull back, right? And let's say there's no pullback today, right? Let's say we just hold above this 100 SMA and just push higher. The level that needs to break to the upside, guys, is 19,400. Let me show you why 19,400. If you guys remember this on the 4-hour chart, 19,400 is right here. You should remember this level. This was a previous major high right here at 19.4. And if I zoom over, that's these previous highs right here, right? 19.4, 19.4. That is the level that we need to break. If we get over 19.4, I believe you are trading right up into this major supply, okay? If you break over 19.4 and you see strength above this level here, I would assume that the NASDAQ futures is going to test this high at 19,680, okay? So 19.4, that's my watch today. If we go to the short term, we can see it's right here, right? You have a lot of SMAs stacked up, but I think that 19.4, if you get a hold above this, I really do believe you're going to see that buying pressure stay involved, right? Stay in. You have to hold above this low, and you need to get above this high. That's your next move. Do you see this today? Very possible, right? Between these two major levels, that is possible. But if you stay above this 19,140, I think that is very important. And I can see what Profits is talking about on that 19,100, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at this. 19,100. I do see what he's referring to here. If I go to the 5-minute chart, you can see right here, this little low that came in yesterday. What's the low of this candle? 19,097. Let's call it 19,100. I think that's your demand zone right there. 19,140 to 19,100. That is the must-hold zone in my opinion. That is, look at this. That is right here. See this? Look, pay attention. See that previous high right there? That rejected on this market? That must turn into support. It is a must. Okay? You can see it turned into support yesterday. And today, on any pullback, that must hold. If this does not hold, you are going to see this flip back lower. And that is not something I would want to be long if I start to see that happen. So, 19,140, 19,100, must hold zone. If you want more upside today, I think you got to penetrate this 19.4. If you get above that 19.4, you could be a little concerned about the 50, right? You could definitely be aware of it. I don't know if it's going to stop this market, though. I don't think the market's going to stop if we have a nice hold over 19.4. So keep an eye on that 19.4. That's the main watch. If you get above that, you're moving up into that 19.680. Okay, very clear. QQQ. 471 looks to be the key level here for the short term, right? For the short term, 471 in that 50 SMA and some of these previous lows. I'd watch 471 here in the short term. If you get above 471, I think you're going right to that 474, right? You're going right to that 474. If you get above 471, you're going to 474. That would be my opinion on the NASDAQ or the QQQ. Now, there is part of me that thinks this needs to pull back to be healthy, right? And that goes back once again to what I was talking about. I think you do want a pullback, right? You would like a pullback to this level. And that would be, a pullback that definitely would, if you're chasing longs today, that would be a pullback that would really crush you, right? If you're chasing longs and this thing does pull back, that is still a very bullish move on the market, but you're just having a really bad entry. So I think this is a very possible pullback long. You can see these previous highs right here, these previous lows right here, and this would really be the spot that would be a very interesting re-long entry. That would also be where that 100 SMA would be if we move lower, right? That 100 SMA is going to be creeping higher, right? Every day, sort of creeping higher, and that 100 SMA is going to match that 460, 450 level, right? See this 100 SMA going across your screen? See this green line, right? That is going to be right around that 460, 450 level, and that could be just an absolutely sexy long entry if we get a pullback to this retest level. So if you really want to get aggressive on a long, I would say you look for that pullback. That's like the juicy move. I don't know if we're going to get it, right? There's nothing saying that we're going to get that pullback. This might just be an absolute squeeze on this market, and it very well could be because, like I talked about previously, if that SMH starts to heat up, and if this SMH wants more, man, this market's not going to stop, right? If that Nvidia move keeps going, if these semiconductors start to come back after being hated for really no reason that we've been talking about every single day in this live stream, if that starts to happen, then you're not going to get a pullback on this Qs, right? So I'm not sure. We'll have to see what happens at PPI in 10 minutes. But if we do get the pullback, you better be laser focused on the potential of this long entry. I would be focused on it, right? 471 is a must break. That's the 50 SMA. If you get above that, you're going to 474. All-time highs are pretty close here at no, it's not all-time highs. Sorry. The next high is 478. Is that all-time highs? Near that 485? I think it is. No, actually not. Wow. We got more. Okay. So, not there yet. Yeah, 503. That was that rejection point, though. That was that major previous rejection point that we saw in this market. It was that 478 level. That was the really tough spot, right? That's the really tough spot. So, 471, 474, 478. Pullback longs is the dream if we can get it, 464. But if you hold above 471 today, right, if you see a little hold right here over 471 and that 50 SMA, I think you're going to move up to that 474. Okay. S&P 500 futures, absolutely perfection, man. Daily chart analysis, we went over this. We talked about this. This is exactly what happened, and it's a thing of absolute beauty. Previous highs, previous lows, or lows here, and the Fib boys. Shout out Fib boys, man. Shout out the Fib boys. The Fib boys did their work, right? 50% retracement of that move. We did this exact analysis yesterday before the market opened. The exact analysis. We talked about the push. We talked about the retracement, the 50% retracement, back down to this 5,400, lining up with the 100 SMA. Absolutely perfect. Could not have asked for a better move, could not have asked for a cleaner move on this market. This is exactly what the technicals showed, and that is exactly what happened. So, absolutely beautiful. It's hard for me to think that this is going to stop after such an aggressive move like that, but we shall see. We shall see. I don't want to get too biased here. 5,400, very nice. Previous highs. What a hold. 5,400, that's exactly where we longed off of yesterday. We've been talking about that major low. What a beautiful test that was, down at that low again. And what a squeeze that came in. Now, If we go to the short-term levels, we are looking at 55.70. Let's go to that hourly chart. Okay, we're on the hourly chart. 55.70. I'm going to delete this for just one moment. 55.70, which is actually holding right now. It actually looks more like 60. What's this low right here? 55.60. It might be 55.60. It might be 55.60. Let me go ahead and take a quick peek at this 60 here. Hold on. But it's also that 20 SMA above is a problem, right? That 20 SMA above, I think, is definitely a problem here today, guys. So let's go ahead and take a quick peek at this. Previous lows right here is 55.60. Previous high right here is pretty much 55.60, right? So 55.60, 55.60 is definitely the previous low and high right there. That's very clear. We can see this morning 55.60 is stepping up, right? We can see right here. Look at this morning. 55, okay, and yesterday's high was 55.60. So 55.60 holding up, and maintaining above right now. I would say if you stay over 55.60, you stay looking for that upside move in the short term. Now, it is very clear that the 20 SMA is causing a rejection as of this morning. So we definitely need to be aware of that 20 SMA, but I would say that as long as the ES is over that 55.60, there is a reason to look for further upside. The pullback to the 50 SMA would be absolutely awesome. Yes, would be welcome. Absolutely, Matt. I agree with you there, right? If you get a pullback to this daily 50 at 55.40, I like that as a possibility, right? I like that as well. A 55.40 pullback back to that 50 SMA, beautiful, right? I would definitely look for that as well. So 55.40, 55.60, two levels I'd be watching here. Now, I want to make this very clear. If you break under 55.40 today, you probably will see downside, okay? If you break under 55.40 and you break under this 50 SMA today, I would assume there's a very quick flash down lower to 55.06, right? This is straight up, and I would assume this could be straight down, okay? So if you do break under that 55.40 and you do fail to hold that 50 SMA today, I would assume that there is a very quick flash back down to 55.06. This could be a short you look for today, right there, to 55.40, 55.06. Now, let me make this also very clear. If you do see a pullback to 55.06, you better not be short. At least I don't think you should be. I would not be short back into these previous highs. Back into here, back into here, back into here. I would not be short. I would not be starting shorts right here. If you want to short maybe under 55.40 into this level, sure. But this is 100% not the spot to be shorting today. Do not enter shorts at 55.06. That is, whether that works or not, right? Maybe there's by some miracle, it does work, right? And the market just absolutely tanks today. Very possible. I'm never going to say that there's not possibilities in this market because the market can do anything. However, in terms of structure and technical analysis, if you want to... Great analogy just popped into my head. Fantastic analogy. This might be the best analogy I've ever thought of. I'm not kidding. Technical analysis is like playing blackjack by the book, okay? You play blackjack by the book, and you take the chance that the book says, right? And you increase your odds. This is a fantastic analogy. You have to play technicals by the book. You cannot just guess that one time it's going to work, one time it's not. You got to play it by the book. You have to play blackjack by the book. If you hit on a 14 and the dealer's showing a 4, you're an idiot, right? If the dealer has a bus card and you're hitting on 14 because you just want to hit, or let's say you're staying on a 13 and the dealer's showing a 9, right? You're an idiot, right? I'm telling you at the table, hey, moron, hit, right? So this is the same exact thing when it comes to trading, right? This is exactly how I think when it comes to technicals. You have to play by the book to increase your odds in your trades, right? If by the book says do not short into this previous low or the previous high, right? Do not short into this level. Guys, remove the gambling aspect of it. It makes sense, okay? It absolutely makes sense. You play by the book. You play what increases your odds in trading. You trade the technicals how they should be traded, right? And you don't take little, right? You don't just go against it because this time you feel different, right? So that would be how, that's at least how I trade, man, and it works for me. So up to you if you want to take that advice or not. Anyways, 55.60, 55.40, right? And 55.06. If you want to look short under 55.40, great. I don't mind that. Look for that 55.06, but I would not be short into 55.06. I think that could be actually the best pullback long if we get an extended pullback, right? If we get an extended pullback, this is probably your best long, right? Back here at 55.06. That's really the best retracement long. That would be, let's pull out the fib boys here. That would be about a 38.2 retracement, right? That's a pretty good retracement to try to relong this market, right? So I would definitely look for that if we do get that pullback, all right? If we hold over 55.60 today, then I think we got PPI in about 30 seconds here. But if you hold over 55.60 today, I think you're going to look at that 5600 as a potential rejection point, okay? Watch out for 5600 today. That could be a little bit of a rejection point there today. Live a little. Yeah, exactly, Sam, right? Live a little. Seriously. Live a little, huh? So, yeah, watch out for that 5600. What I'm saying is trust the levels. That's exactly correct. Exactly correct. Trust the levels. Trust the book, right? Trust the blackjack book. Play by the book. Play by the levels. Trust the levels. All right. PPI just came out. A little bit of upside, a little bit of downside, pretty much motionless. Let's wait a second to see if there's any reaction here. PPI 0.3, core PPI 0.3 versus 0.2, so slightly higher. So both higher, PPI and core PPI, month over month, slightly higher. Thank you for the data, as always, Hamish. Jobless claims 230 versus 227. I would expect to see rejections here, personally. I think it's probably correct to see some kind of a retracement. That would be my, at least, assumption here. That's what you'd want to see, right? At least for me on intraday trades today, I would prefer to see some type of a retracement. Look for some pullbacks. Look for that 55.60. Look for that 55.40, right? And see if we can get some pullback longs. So right now, that 20 SMA, absolutely still a very tough level. We can clearly see that, guys. This SPY, we're going to go over that SPY in a second. NASDAQ futures, right? Still very heavy up here around that 19.4 and that 20 SMA, right? I think you want this pullback to this 19.140, 19.100 area. That's really what I would look for to look for that long entry today. So let's see if we get that. QQQ, right? 460, 450, right? Back there. Guys, the most important thing for me today, right? Just talking out loud and being open about my game plan. I have to be open to everything today. I cannot let the positions that I hold right now guide me in a certain direction and bias my trading today, right? I know if I was without a position that I would want this pullback, right? I know that. If I was without a position and I was not emotional, I would want this pullback to these retracement levels. And that's exactly what I need to continue to think about, right? So let's look for them. Let's look at 55.60. Let's look at 55.40. Let's focus on those pullbacks today. Let's see if opportunity arises off of it. All right. Let's go to SPY. Let's take a quick peek at this SPY. Let's go to the hourly chart. You guys know 555. We should all be very aware of 555. This has been a major level, 555. Anywhere between 555 and I would call it that 554. That's that 1 point range that we've had on our charts for some time. It's 555 to 554. That's this sort of dollar range right here, right here, and right here. I would look to see if the market can pull back and hold this zone today, right here, between this 555 and 554. This would be the zone that I'd watch. Can we hold above that zone today? If so, I'd like to see if that long can step in. If not, if we break under 554, guys, then I would assume this pulls back to 552. If we don't hold 552, we pull back to 549, okay? Let's go out to that 30-minute chart real quick. I'll show you why I say those levels. So 555, 554, I think you want to see at least a hold over these previous highs. That's right here, right? If you do not hold that, I think you pull back right to this 552, which could be an interesting spot. If you don't hold that 552, then you're pulling back to this 549 and that 50 SMA. Pull back to that 549 would be the same as a pullback to the 5506, right? That's the bigger pullback. That would be interesting, right? The retracement pullback, 5506, and that SPY 549, okay? So keep an eye out that. Look for those pullbacks. Really, if you want to stay very aggressive long in the short term, then you got to watch that 555, 554. If you break under 554 today, it's the type of move that you can't just instantly start looking for longs, right? If you break under the 554 today, you got to sort of sit back and relax and just sort of monitor, okay? You can't just start be out here, salivating for longs, because under 554, it definitely could cause some selling pressure, and you don't want to just start longing anything you see, right? You got to give that some time, let it bake, let it sit, try to find where it settles. Don't just start, out there slinging longs just because it broke down and you're starting to pull back, right? If you break 554 today, that would be sort of that, hey, I'm really not interested in longs in the short term here. Let me wait to see what happens at this zone, right? Because what could happen is you could look for that long off 552, but then you got to be careful of that sort of retest rejection, right? Back at 555. So I'm not, if we break under that 555, guys, I'm not that excited to just start re-longing today. It would be more of like a wait and see what level steps up and then start to formulate some kind of an idea. If you want to really be long today and you want to see that market really be strong, then I think you got to hold over 5560. I think you got to hold over 555, 554, and I think you have to hold over. The NASDAQ sort of has some room, but even back at that 19140, I think is still great to watch. So let's see, right? Let's see. The NASDAQ seems to have like a short-term level here that I could use. It looks like it's lining up with the ES. It's right around this 19230. I don't know if there's anything that's here in the past. It's sort of with that 100 SMA. Let me go ahead and take a look at this. If I extend this to the left, let me see if there's anything at this 19230 in the past on that 1 hour chart. Let me go ahead and take a quick peek at that and see if I see anything worth, trusting at that level. 19230. You got a little high right there. If I'm sort of looking at this, I'm still dragging this over, looking to see if I see anything there. All right, right? See this? Right? This is what I do, guys, right? This is what I do. So I hope you start paying attention. If I see a level sort of holding in the short term and I don't have it, let's say you see right here, right? See how this NASDAQ sort of just holding above this level right here? And I don't have it. I'll be like, okay, where's that coming from, right? So I'll put the line there. I'll extend it to the left, right? I'll go right click and I'll extend to left. And then I'll sort of just drag this chart over and say, okay, where's this level coming from? Right? Where's this stemming from? Why is there a level here? Why is the market trying to hold this zone? So I'll extend it to the left and I'll move it over until I find something, and you can, look at this. This is actually interesting, right? Look, right here, right here, right here, right here, right there. Look at that, right? So that is interesting. That's that 19230. Look at these holds. Look at these rejections. So if we do hold above that, then that's quite interesting, right? Let's make sure we keep an eye on that today. That would be the 100 SMA, and that would be that 19230 spot. That's an interesting spot to be watching, okay? So there we go, right? Now we want to watch that there, and then that 19140 below, okay? That is something to watch there. All right, let's continue. Let's go to the we'll go IWM, then we'll go Mr. Jones. IWM, not that good of a move yesterday, to be honest. 209, I think, is a must hold. If you do not hold 209, then I'm not really a fan of IWM today. Under 209, I think you trade right back into the 207. So, yeah, not a fan of IWM, really, if you don't hold this 209. Look for that 209 hold. Dow Jones was very weak yesterday. Wow, what a recovery on the Dow yesterday. Oh, right off our level. Holy shit. Right off the 40,000. Wow. Okay, so Dow 40,000 got back above the 40,500 and rejecting again the 41,000. So our levels are spot on here, right? Here. I have not touched this chart since yesterday. 40,000, 41,100. Rejection still coming in there. So we got to be careful on that Dow, man. Look, it's still rejecting. It's rejecting the same highs. So you are not in free air yet, right? You're not in free air yet on that Dow. And neither are you on this ES, right? This ES is starting to get stuck here at that daily 20. So make sure you're aware of that. All right, guys, that is the futures and the market levels. If you guys could, please press that like button. That would be great. We got 2,700 people here. Appreciate you guys being here. That's more than usual. So some of you new guys, appreciate you coming. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Help me get to 100,000 subs. Ayúdame. Ayúdame, por favor. I need help. So 55.60, that's going to be the spot today, guys. This is the deciding factor today. You break under this today, I am not that interested in the early morning session, because at that point I would need to just sit back and watch, because I would probably want to pull back to 55.40. Guys, the way I trade, I am not that interested in this short, right? I'm not interested in a 20-point short on the ES after a move like this yesterday, where pullbacks could be long still, right? So I am not going to look to short under 55.60 today. I'm just not that interested. If you want to get aggressive on it, go ahead, right? Look for that 55.60 failure into 55.40. There's definitely 20 points there to take if you guys want to be interested in that. I'm not that interested in that. I would honestly just let that go and just watch. I would watch until it gets to 55.40, and then I would sort of see what happens there. If we break under 55.40, that's where I would get more interested in the short side, right? Under 55.40, then I would start to sort of say, all right, let me go ahead and take a look at this. This could now get interesting, because then I think I have enough juice here. Got about 40 points here that I could take advantage of, and I think it's a more important breakdown spot under that level. And you guys can see right now, there is something stepping up at 55.60 as we speak, right? You can see something is stepping up here. So buyers are definitely sort of chilling out around here. I'd be watching that today. Okay. All right. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get into some stocks. Tesla. Oh, where are you going, Tesla? Man, Tesla's been decent, but it just scares me. It really does. I am so happy just to hold shares on Tesla right now. I don't really have interest in trading this with options. It's been very volatile. I mean, the intraday moves have been almost pointless. Like in terms of the larger term, right? In terms of the larger term, I'm not that interested in the intraday moves, because like it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's up. It's just like it's not making meaningful and I think clean moves here. So I just don't want to get caught in, the random Tesla downside and then the random back up. The levels are respecting. I will say that, right? The levels are definitely being clean. The pullback longs have been nice on Tesla. But I don't know. Something about those intraday moves have been just sort of iffy to me. So that's just where my head's at, man. I don't know if I can fully explain it, but something I'm seeing in that intraday move has just been sort of difficult to me. So I'm staying away from it for now. 226, that would be where I'd watch today. If it can hold above that 226, then I would be definitely interested in that watch, right? If you can hold above that 226, I'd look for that potential long here over that level. So watch that 226 today, and then watch that 50 SMA. I think it could be anywhere from 226 to 224, 22450, right? That 50 SMA. I think that's very possible for the demand to step up anywhere in that zone, right? See in here, anywhere from that 50 SMA to that 226. I think this whole zone is an area to watch for possible buyers to step up. If you do hold over that 226, though, I do believe that you will see this sort of continue into this 236 eventually. In what manner? That's the hard part, right? Because I thought Tesla was going to get to 236, back here, right? I thought, okay, hey, this might go to 236. And it did for like a second, and then it did this, right? So maybe it goes up here and then dies and then, holds here, then goes straight back up, right? And that's sort of what Tesla's been doing. So that's why I've stayed away from it. So yeah, I'd say proceed with caution on Tesla. I would say if you want to, the one thing I would say is that the longer term, in my opinion, does look proper for Tesla to just sort of be, in my opinion right now, a good share purchase. I'm not opposed to buying shares on Tesla at this point. I think it's starting to see some type of an outperformance, and I'm seeing, these sort of lows coming in. I like the share purchase more than I like the trade. I like the, hey, I bought Tesla shares in the 200s or in the low 200s, the high 100 area. I like that idea, right? More than I like, intraday trading this for now. So that's just my feel, guys. Take it what we will. I'm just here explaining myself. That's all. Nvidia. Congratulations. We absolutely annihilated this call out. Straight down means straight up. Over 110 and absolutely straight up over 110. Now I will say there was some drama, right? I will always, be fully transparent. There was a little bit of drama that, probably faked a few you out of this trade because you got straight up. You got nailed on that 100 SMA and you did reject on the market. And then you sort of went straight back up, right? So there was definitely a tough spot here. It wasn't as clean as you like, right? You would have liked to just see sort of this, a nice maintain, and then the push higher. That wasn't as clean as you would have liked. So a little bit sloppy there for Nvidia. But once it did reclaim that 110, man, it was off to the races, right? After that 110 reclaim came in, it was off to the races. It was straight to 116. Awesome stuff. Today, we can see holding over 116. Very nice. I would look to see if Nvidia can maintain that 116 level. Right here, 116. I think that's a big hold. If you can hold above that, I think you probably trade towards like this 120, 150. I think I'm going to change that to around 120, 150. That's sort of been a rejection spot in the past. Right here. Let me go ahead and show you why. If you hold that 116, I think you will see more upside towards that 120, 150. I'll go ahead and show you why right here on the hourly chart. You can see 120, 150, 120, 150. I believe that is a heavy spot. So just be careful of that on the upside move. If you do get it, right, be careful up into this 120, 150. If you get above that, you're going to the 125. And I would say Nvidia is going to be on a tear if you're starting to break through these levels, to be quite honest, right? If you start seeing Nvidia tearing through 121, tearing through 125, then this thing's just on a rocket at that point. So I would watch 116, right? Keep an eye on that spot. I think this is a must hold. If you fail back under 116, not a big fan of this, right? Because then you're right back into this sort of straight up, straight down action. Under 116, I'm not a fan of Nvidia. I would look for longs off that level today. That's what I would watch, okay? Let's go to the SMH real quick. The reason why I think you could be looking for more upside on semis, guys, is because the overall semiconductor ETF and the whole sector is coming off a major demand. This is an SMH that I am currently swing trading. We entered off that 200 SMA, and you saw that push that came in yesterday off that 200. If this SMH continues to find strength, I think the whole market moves higher, and I definitely would be watching semiconductors to follow through. The next level looks to be around this 20 SMA. Let me go ahead and get more time here because really the level that I was watching was 222. It's far gone now. Let me go ahead and take a quick peek at this. Yeah, it's like this previous. It's like 235. I think this 20 SMA is probably a problem here. 237. It's sort of sloppy, to be honest. I'm not really loving that action in terms of how clean these levels are. It's a little bit sloppy. I would say that 235 to 237 zone gets heavy, right? Anywhere from this 237 and this 20 SMA to around this 235, I would say this starts to get heavy right in here. I would watch this zone for some potential rejections. You can see right here, this area, these areas right here, and then some of this right here, and that 20 SMA. I would say that's your heavy spot. If you clear out the 20 SMA, that's where you can sort of say, all right, we're in free air, right? If you clear out that 20, I would say there's a little bit more free air there. So watch out for that 20 SMA above at 237. That would be That would be my spot, right? You can see this is starting to get a little bit weak up here, okay? So 235, 237 zone on SMH. I think you got to get above the 20 at 237. If you can, then I think you get that next move on the semiconductors, okay? Broadcom, what an absolute beast. Man, Broadcom beast off the 200. That trade's sort of gone now. Unfortunately, you can't really long this in the 165. I would watch 165. I wouldn't really long it into that, guys. This risk reward is gone, right? The risk reward to the long side was down here, guys, right? It's over. This is that situation that you got to accept you missed it, right? That was the risk reward on Broadcom. Previous lows right here, again off the 200. That was your risk reward. It's gone, okay? So really the only next long entry on Broadcom to me would be over 165, right? Holding over this for that next long. If it's not there, then you're just longing right into this supply. I do not like that. So be careful up at that 165 on Broadcom. AMD, sort of on a comeback move, something I would be watching if the semis do stay hot. You can see right here, we're at this major level here at 151 in that 50 SMA. That looks like a tough level. I don't think I would long it into that, right? 151 in the 50 SMA looks heavy. I would watch for pullbacks to this 147. 147 in that 20 SMA would be my pullback level. 147 in 20 SMA or back to that 144.50. But right now, I would not long it into 151. If you get above 151, then I would look for that 155. Okay? Let's go to Apple. Apple, again, I think is just, it's not really a day trading stock for me, but I do like that long idea of that 215, right? That has been nice. I'd keep an eye on that. Amazon has been an absolute monster. Outperformer on the market, no doubt. Continues to be an outperformer. And, man, I would be watching the pullback longs today at 182. This would really be a nice spot for me. Right here at 182, pull back to that 100 SMA. I would look for that long today on Amazon. 182, previous highs, 100 SMA. That's that gap fill level. If you get that pullback, I'd be watching 182. I think Amazon has room to 190 personally, right? I don't think Amazon's going to stop until these highs. See this 4-hour chart right here, right here, right here? That 190 level, I think that's ultimately your target here. But I think you got to see maybe a pullback to 182 before that happens. Google, I would sort of watch Google today, guys, because Google has been absolutely beaten to a pulp. And if there is a market that comes back, maybe something is an opportunity here, right? Google has been beaten to an absolute pulp, man. This thing has been dead. I'm not going to say you go out and start longing the shittiest tech stock on the market right now, but I would say make sure you got some alerts set and make sure you got an eye on what this Google does today. Right? See if this thing gets back over this 157. If it does, maybe back over that 200. Maybe you start to get an idea. But for now, I would just be a monitor of it and understand that it's been sort of shit on, to be honest. And maybe there is an opportunity at some point, something I would at least just monitor, right? Something you got to remember. Microsoft, opportunity to the upside is gone. The risk reward is gone. You can't long it now into 430. The longs were down here that we were sort of talking about all this week. So I would not be long Microsoft. I'd be careful of that 430 spot. That is somewhere to be careful of. Okay. I've been picking up shares of Google pretty much every week. Yeah. Tony, that's the M1 has been buying a lot of Google. Kava, the absolute, a beautiful chart on Kava, right? Kava is really the definition of stair-stepping upside right now. Look at this, right? Look at the structure that Kava has built. It's quite pretty. It is quite pretty on Kava. So 110, right? 115, 118, right? Look at the stair-stepping moves. Look how just sort of clean this has been. So, yeah, I think Kava looks fantastic on the chart. 121 is going to be heavy, so I'd probably want to see it above that, right? Above 121. Netflix, keep an eye on this thing. That 4-hour chart has been sort of brewing, in my opinion, off this 655. You're starting to get in this slow pullback into that 655 and that 50 SMA. This looks like something brewing. I'd watch that. And that's really about it, guys. I think that's where I'm going to end it. We got to do the shot of the Tesla tequila here. Let's get a quick look at that NASDAQ again. Let's just monitor these levels, right? As always, 19... 19,230, 19,140, QQQ. That is right around here. That's that 468 area, 467.80. That's this little pre-market here. If you break under that, I think the pullback you really want, right, is the 464.50. That's really the pullback you want, right? 464.50. I think that's the proper pullback back into this zone right here. I think that is a very clean pullback today to look for, right? So that's something nice. ES, again, I would really want to see it hold over 55.60. If it does not, I would want to see it hold this 55.40. I would not short into 55.40. I'm not interested in shorting into the 50 SMA demand. I would let this pull back and look to see if there's a long that sets up here. If we break under 55.40, that is where I would look for my short entry today, right? Under 55.40 is where I'd be a short side trader. Above 55.40, I'd let this fade and see if that long starts to set up off that level, okay? SPY, 555, 554. If you break under that, I'd say look for that 552. All right? All right, hold on now. I wonder if YouTube's going to ban me, but I don't think so. It's just water. Let's take a shot of water, okay? Little shot of water here for the $100,000 trade. We said we would, so I'm going to do it. Not going to go behind, not going to go against what I said. All right, shot of water. Cheers. Tesla, this is a Tesla shot glass as well with water in it. Flavored water. Cheers. Not bad. Pretty good. All right. I'll see you guys Monday. Not bad. Just some good old water. Peace and love.